We're going to write a quadratic function in standard form. Remember, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, no parentheses or anything funny. That has two solutions of -3 and 7 and a negative leading coefficient of 4. There's a lot going on here, but they told us that we had two solutions, which means we know that x is equal to -3 and x is equal to 7. These were our solutions. What we're going to do is work backwards. If we have the solutions, we want the function. So we already have the x equals. We're going to move it back into factored form and then standard form. So our first step needs to be to move the 3 and the 7 back on the side with the x's, which means we're going to have x plus 3 equals 0, and x minus 7 equals 0. From here, we have two things that equal to 0, and those came from our zero factor property, which means they were actually multiplied together when they were broken apart for the zero factor property. We don't need the equal to 0 because we're not solving. We're trying to get to our function. We also know that we have a negative leading coefficient of 4. That negative leading coefficient means that it goes in the very front. Right now, what we have is our function. I'm going to call him f of x in factored form because there are parentheses still. So if I asked for factored form, we would be done. We would circle this whole thing and call it a day. But we want standard form, which means no parentheses. So what we need to do is start by FOILing these guys out. We're going to ignore the 4 for a moment. When we take x times x, we get x squared. X times -7 gets me -7x. 3 times x is plus 3x. And 3 times -7 gets me -21. Still ignoring my -4 for a moment. We're going to combine some like terms. So I have x squared minus 4x, because -7 plus 3, minus 21. And now I'm ready to distribute my -4. It's going to go all the way through, which means we have -4x squared plus 16x, because -4 times -4 is positive 16, plus 84, because -4 times -21 gets us a positive 84. And then I'm going to bring down my f of x, so my function has a name, and we have a function that is a quadratic because it has 2 as the highest exponent with a leading coefficient of -4, and then our two solutions of -3 and 7.